Alright, I think we're on here. Just test. Yep, looks good. Always give people a few minutes to show up. Alright, let's see if this will load. Looks like it's loading. Looks good. All right, looks like we're good here. I don't know when people are going to arrive, but I'm just going to give the sorry for the lateness of the start. We had some technical issues, not that many, but I'm going now. Anyway, welcome back to part 2 of THORN Tower. Yesterday's part 1 went a little long, mainly because there's just so many stories and so much stuff to explain. Today should go quite a bit faster. Anyone who's interested in it, definitely catch the. I'll have the other one up on my YouTube channel probably in about a week or two. I don't like putting them at the top. I don't like headlining those. They're not great content for most people. So whenever I upload videos, whatever you upload last is at the top of your recent videos thing, and I always need to make sure that I have something to pad it with. So. Okay, we got one person. It's probably me. Hopefully it's not me. Oh boy. Okay, I forget how this works. Anyway, I'm going to get going here on the THORN Tower stuff, because I'm mostly outside right now, outside the tower. We'll get into the tower in a few more minutes, but I'm just going to start working this stuff, and hopefully we'll get out of here pretty quick. So I forget how much time I had there. I had a couple hours. I mean, I had to catch. I'm not sure I stayed to the end of the shift, but I can't remember walking back to the station. This was a pretty big one I did back in the day. This is toward the end of my first generation camera, so not everything was as bad as it was in 2002. So here we have the CP valve unit and air piston assembly of the 51W switch. For those of you who don't know or have seen into them, the CP valve unit is what translates the low voltage control current to actuate the air valves to move the switch. Getting power-operated switches were a non-trivial technology, mainly because it was very difficult to create something. Because with a mechanical switch, I forgot to resize this guy. With a mechanical switch, I mean, it was the pipe was attached to the lever, and there was often a facing point lock to lock the pipe attached to the lever. Whatever position the lever is in, the switch could physically not be different. With a power-operated GRS electrics or US&S signal pneumatics, in the early days of this interlocking technology, the interlocking machine and the switches could frequently get confused. There's quite a lot of issues before the switch signal. This is what led to the regulation for switch signal locking, where the signal could not display unless it physically the circuit was made through a representation of the actual switch points. In addition, not just the lever position on the machine. And there was a lot of early valve types where you had one little problem go wrong in the valve, and suddenly your switch will misalign on its own. Sometimes with a train under it, because all it takes is a stray current or whatever. So they have all sorts of design things under these valves. So there's your control circuitry, and inside I think there's like 3 chambers I've seen pictures of them. They do involve a lot of the stuff are like just plastic housings and stuff today, but you can find a diagram, I'm sure, online somewhere. Anyway, moving on. Here we go. So Thorn interlocking was, and I believe still is, one of the very, very few places that you can still find Pennsylvania Railroad 155-pound rail. Trying to increase the contrast here. Okay. You can, if you zoom in here, see 155 PS Pennsylvania Special. Heaviest railroad, heavy mainline, heavy rail, like railroad mainline rail ever created. PRR needed its special stuff. Possibly, I forget the exact reason why. Wore down less, who knows? But Thorn interlocking on some of the tracks still has 155-pound rail, which is really, I mean, a lot of the main line from Philly to Harrisburg had 155 jointed up through 2005, because again, the state of Pennsylvania wasn't about to pay for it. I'm wondering if I can do a selective sharpening. This is where my Photoshop skills. Let's just see if I can boost the contrast there in that one zone. Yeah, it helps a little. This is one of the things where it's like, I'm not usually one of those guys that will do crass edits like that, but the whole point of this picture is to show off the mark. Today, the rail standard is a paltry 141 or 131 in some places. I just gotta find this. I probably didn't name it that right. I took two pictures because I found two marks that were of decent size. Got that guy there, and this one here that actually has the date. See, Bethlehem Steel, Steelton, 1948. Very cool. Better than anything they'll make today, I'll tell you that. A little bit of contrast there. Pop down the red. Resize it. Should be able to still read it with a resize. Yeah, Steelton 1948. Gotta rename that last one from rail to pound mark. Here we have a fish plate or rail joint or joint bar. Sorry, not fish plate. A joint bar or splice bar for the 155-pound rail. Now look at the quality of. And I don't know when this was installed. It was on one of the middle tracks. It probably didn't. It was probably done in the PRR or Conrail era. And look at that quality. A lot of people, the jointed rail that people have ridden on. Up in the 80s, the remainder of it, it's like jugga 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 jugga. The train's rocking back and forth. You think it's going to derail. Really well maintained jointed rail does not it's a very faint click clack. If you're on the Raton Pass line where there's no freight, that has 80-mile-an-hour jointed rail, and you do not feel it at all. You just hear this mild click, the clicking of it. And that's just because when you have freight, it's just the way that I forget how the physics works. You get there's something that has to do with just the forces or whatever. It's almost like a washboard road where the rail gets warped, where it basically becomes a bow. So that's why on the on Amtrak's main line, it was just the trains are just rocking back and forth. But here you can see what a proper rail joint should look like. Like, there's no giant gap. You barely even need the bond. It is just so tight. You couldn't get a piece of paper in there. I mean, that's what it really should look like. And for people who wonder, it's like, oh my God, train travel was so bumpy. How did they deal with it? It wasn't bumpy at all. It was as smooth as welded. It just took an inordinate amount of maintenance. You had guys that would go out every time a joint started opening up. You'd have people that would come out, and they have all these mechanisms to close it up, or you'd shave the end of the rail. Sometimes what they would do is I heard that they would, as you got those bends in it, they would chop off like a foot of each end of the rail, re-drill the holes, or they'd probably put new rails in, but they could go and they would chop off the ends, re-drill the holes, and every X numbers of joints you do, you put a new one in. So there was a bunch of different things. I also heard that they would do that, chop off the ends and turn it into welded. So, oops, got a typo on the names there. Let's see who we got in the chat. Oh, still only one person. Oh, poop. I guess it's Friday. Everybody's gotten something better to do. I saw this there. Now, if I had driven and this had been years sooner, I would have grabbed this. And I kind of feel bad that it's like, this just came off some maintenance crew grabbed it. And I had nowhere to do with it. It's not like they're gonna really need this much anymore. Could have taken it apart too. Oh, who got an air tap? Don't know what switch this is. That information is lost to time. I'm going to do a little bit of a shave on these just because there's no point in showing the rocks. Oops. I might chop off some of the bottom rocks here as well. Just don't really need them. Can I make do with this sort of squeeze? There we go. I'll just chop that off and save it. Sometimes I like to maintain the aspect ratio, but sometimes it's just not worth it. So here we have the air plant. Now, I might pop by Thorn. Thorn's kind of on my way home. From driving from Baltimore to Philly. I mean, it's surprisingly quick. Especially, I went up this route last year when I was getting some pictures on the Morrisville line of the Conrail signaling before it was replaced. And Thorn Tower is right there, so I might show up here again to get some external photos of like the air plant and whatnot. So. Boy, no one's watching today. Pretty much, your pneumatic air plant consists of a number of things here. Let me unresize so I can zoom in. this is I think, some sort of so the compressor's inside air reservoirs, and I think this is some sort of drying unit. I'm not entirely sure how a lot of this stuff works. This seems like it's there to aid in condensation. I don't know how this works. I wish someone would explain it. If anyone out there knows how it works, let me know. But I think this is also some sort of dryer, and they had something else there too, that like an aftermarket type. Again, I don't. You'd open up a valve and like water would shoot out because there's a lot of water vapor inside this thing. That's what these air systems are just an absolute mess to maintain. I mean, they're quick. And why was air so popular for the first part of the century? People were cheap. You get people to maintain it, and there was no power grid. So in the event of a power failure, and that was the other thing. When you're using pole line power and your electric switches were a high amp draw, you'd either use up, you could overload the ability for your pole line power system, though, the ones you see on the pole lines for like 440 volt that go on for miles and miles and miles and miles, or, trying to throw a lot of switches on that. If they're using 120V, you don't have enough amps. So this allowed an interlocking plant to literally store up its power. You could have a low amp power supply, air compressor, and it would just slowly, over time, it would fill up these air tanks. And when you really needed to go throw a bunch of switches, ka-chunk, 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 no problem. And today, you just have power on demand. And this sort of stuff really is. I mean, they're a little bit faster than electrics today, but not so much that anyone's going to deal with the hassle of air. But again, the PRR was running so many train movements that they couldn't, a delay in setting a new route caused by a slow throwing switch, or the lack of power to power, electric switch machines just weren't, they calculated it wasn't worth it. And here we see some of the close-up. This is the thing with the bucket on top. I think that's a new air dryer. I can't read the it's something dryer. When you hit that valve there, which I did. Look, you can see how I think it's like tapped in, right? Sorry, I'm going all over the place. Yeah, see, I don't know why like this where goes to where and whatever. I love look flanges. Oh God, pipes and flanges. So it's like nothing has flanges anymore. Look, a flange and another flange and another flange. Today you don't see flanges. You see, everything's screwed in, or like a brazed, welded PVC type connector, like those, like that guy. That guy, a T junction. You don't see old school flanges. I'm going crazy over flanges. No, you don't see that. You notice it when you do. But when you hit that, it caught me by surprise. When you hit that valve, just a torrent of water will shoot out of that pipe there. I don't know if there's some sort of maintenance schedule that someone has to come by and open that. If the maintainer has to do that, who knows? But the compressor equipment was in like the basement. I didn't have access to that, so I couldn't actually see what was there. I might go peer in the window again, using a newfangled camera phone camera that are pretty good under low light. And here we of course have the air tap and the air line going west. I'm going east. Behind me is the west air line. So there's where the magic happens. There's your air pipe out and back. Air pipes are one of the few things that do generally. It's signal bases and air pipes are often the things that survive pretty well when when commercial railroads re-signal stuff. The air pipes are often half buried in the ballast, but you can find them. Conrail actually, at a number of the interlockings on the main line, CP Long, Hawstone come to mind, but there are others. would use airline air pipes to deliver the heating gas for the switch heaters. And if I ever get my photos in a convenient location, or if you browse via my blog to the Google Google Photos albums, you can see the pictures of the air pipes used for gas delivery or propane delivery. Keep looking who's here. Well, someone's here. Probably me. Sigh. This is one I will just rename. Photo number 3059. I discussed the Fraser board in the other thing. This was just a second picture of it. I'm just going to roll in here and rename it. There's no I in Fraser. It's Frazer, not AI. It's Frazier. Like it is somehow commonly dealt with. This is, again, this, like I said, it's just a nope. This is just a alternate view with less light, no flash. Anything pulled up? No, nothing's pulled up. Oh wait, there is something pulled up. Signal out of the pocket track is pulled for some reason. Oh yeah, and you can see the track occupancy light there, and there. There's got to be. Oh yeah, you can see a movement has just come out of this yard. These three occupancy lights are all. This is probably all in one track circuit. There's a train that's stretched out into the middle track, and it's going to come out. It's going to be an R5. So that's what he's taking the signal coming out of the storage track or the yard lead. It's triggering track occupancy lights there. They're there. That's for that switch complex. And then he's on the middle track right there. Compared with the initial panel photo, again, it looks like someone was there's some sort of occupancy light here in the interlocking. I'm not sure why that's. See, there's one without the occupancy, but the train has not yet proceeded into the middle track. Here, got some old bell phones. Fun fact from theblockstation.net. Thorn Tower, because it was straddling the line in the old between two bell system regions, to avoid long distance toll charges, the Pennsylvania Railroad equipped it with 2 telephone numbers. Let me see if I can pull that up here. It's mentioned in the pictures of the Thorn. Yeah, here's stuff in the early 90s. Bell phone is mounted to the blah blah there. Streamlight was on the Lancaster 717 area code exchange, has made ordering pizza difficult, as Thorndale is in the southwestern eastern PA 215 area code exchange. That was easily solved. Oh, I could have sworn they had 2 phones. Huh. Actually, he says that it's on that there's a phone on the 717. But I know from the Amtrak employee timetables that Thorndale has 2 phones. So now they fixed that problem, the 615717 area code problem, and you know, it at least has 2 phones. And here's some extras. Why not? Like under your air conditioning unit. Just gotta find the there's your fax machine too. Always important. You get your bulletin orders and stuff faxed out. And a flag. It's post 9/11. You got to have your flag. Oh, that's the rear of the Fraser panel. Yeah, you can see all the cables coming in from the top. More flags. Gotta have your flags. I gotta rename that one. Just delete, 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 delete. It makes me wonder if I shouldn't just leave these full size. A lot of interesting stuff. I'm going to do that for those two. I'm going to make large copies of both of these. That stuff's kind of interesting. Nah, it's less so. Not much in here. All right, off we go. Round 2. Let's see who's around in the chat. Is anybody in the chat? Anybody? Someone's watching. Probably me. Boy, tough crowd. I got 8 people watching last night. I guess Thursdays are just dull. Here's how you can see the orientation of what's inside the tower. There's your CTC cabinet. Tracks are behind it. This is the back wall, entry door, bulletin stuff over there, water cooler, lockers. And any of the regulars had their own locker. This was their reporting point. Yeah, I'm gonna resize this one. It's too soft to really show any detail. Here's the other side. This is, again, there's the CTC cabinet right there with some plastic bags from Wawa on them. Janitorial supplies. Not sure if they got any service or just were expected to do it themselves. I think they did it themselves, or maybe they had someone who come in once a bit. There's your power board over there. I'm not sure what that stuff is. Again, I think those might be older lock. You know, they're not. Those lockers weren't being used. It makes me wonder if I should resize this or keep it large. Probably should keep this one large. Let's find out. Resize. Sharpen. Probably should leave it large. here you have examples of the readout on the hotbox detector. There you have a wheel. You know, you can see the cars pass there. Oops. I think there was another one. There was one of these somewhere that was also hooked to a dragging equipment detector. It might be the one at Paoli. We can check that out on the diagram. I think that's the one. Next page. I think that's the one going into Paoli. Oops. Previous. I'm not sure where that was. It might have been the St. David's previous. There they are. Yeah, the Devon detector, hotbox dragging equipment. At the Paoli tower where they have, that's where that reads out. You see all the little hash marks for the wheels, as you saw in the picture here. Oop, right there. But at the end, it would deliver this giant, like, single hash indicating that, like, the dragging equipment detector read the train. So you'd see tick 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 tick, and then blam of a dragger mark. I'm not sure if I have a picture of that somewhere. I hope I do. So, you know, wherever that might be. But this was a hotbox only. Reads out in the tower, and if there was a problem, it either drop a signal automatically at park. I think it would drop the signal or something. But the tower was responsible for alerting the crew of where it was. Oh, I love this. It's a little marked by that banana there. But this is if you can't read it, but it says THORN air gauge, always under pressure, and they put their PRR things there. And I love how this is. I think they have things where the minimum operating things where had to be between 70 and 90 pounds of pressure. You do have weird rules that come into effect if you have a low air. You have like low air 1 and low air 2. If it goes below 70, you're in low air 1. That means that the most frequent routes you have to line everything up at you have to straight rail the most or align the most frequently used routes. It's somewhere in the tower instructions, and you can only move. It's like a snow plan almost. You can only move certain switches under like 50. Then you have to basically put blocking device. You can't use anything. Like that means that the pressure is so low that the switches are just going to go on center if you try to move them. That's where you have to block everything out, and you can't make movements anymore. Is there anything there? Very cool. Always under pressure. Yep. Here we have a Fraser panel. Again, all the occupancy lights were there. I'm not sure why those were, was there just an issue there today? Did they just have a train parked in the damn interlocking? I don't know. The center track was arbitrarily given an 8 designation. Here we have track 1, track 4, the only ones that are there. And your storage tracks were given the 5E, 6E signal. Bathroom. Pretty sure it's an original bathroom. You got to appreciate the originality of the keeping it original. A must for any owner of a vintage house. I don't think there's any toilet paper there. But yeah, no, the toilet might not be original. No, it's not. The Harris Tower one has a replica original toilet. That's not an original toilet. I'm sorry. Why was I saying it was original? The sink is original. The toilet is not. Radiator is probably mostly original. Only one person. It's got to be me. Sigh. A lot of great engagement yesterday, too. I said I'd be back. Was I just late? Thorn refrigerator. All these towers gotta have a fridge and a microwave. Although there was a lot of local food options. This is behind the door to the stairs. Door to the stairs is there. There's some old radio equipment or something back in there, and the fridge and your water cooler. I think there's a laptop there. Back outside! Woo! We got the 55E switch. God, I want to chop this down, but maybe I can do a. Yeah, I can do a square thing. Square is an acceptable aspect ratio. I have arbitrarily decided. I should chop off some of the side here. Whatever. Now again, it's a weekend. There was really nothing coming by. So, remember, he knows what's up, so I got sent out to take pictures. Here I have the 47 switch. That's what it looked like back in the day, when I was overusing that clarify filter. Thorn plus 47 points plus A5 eastbound. Love the reverse switch right there. This is where I was finding some of those PRR things. The AC motor stop boards. That's a sign I'd like to have. Yeah, very cool. Once again, we have number 1 track eastbound, number 2 bidirectional west of the line. This is going to be, I think, 5, 6. Yeah, this is 5 running. That's 6 yard. Then 3 and 4. Although this doesn't go anywhere. And 5 running. I'm not even sure if that's there anymore. Thorndale Yard was mainly a helper base. You might not think of it today, but the grades in this area used to be pretty extreme when trains had no power. They were like 1%. I never got why the grades on the main line were considered so odious when they're not, they're not like a mountain. But I'm just assuming it was an artifact of steam power and whatnot. What's this? Let's find out. I don't even know what switch this is. 41. But dunk. And which one's this? It's the 41W switch. Points in A5. Yeah, I don't have much to say on this one. Oh, that's probably something I should have pointed. I'll point something out in a second. You'll see what I'm going. Oh, I'm pretty close to a second, actually. As we cut through these. I guess the Thorn. Yeah, the station was there. Maybe they just didn't have weekend service. Or it was a Sunday. Yeah, I can go back in time and figure that out. Probably it was a Sunday. Let's see when the... Let's see what November 27th. It was a Sunday. That's why there was no Thorn SEPTA service. The station was built. It was just, you know, they weren't running there on Sundays. Is this public? Huh. I hope people are seeing this. If they want to. Anywho's, let us continue a bit more. Got some more fun shenanigans going on. So one of the things that my friend would like to do is he would send me out. So the reason I went out this way is because he was like, I want to see some interesting signals pulled up. And here we see he display, again, this is what you do on a Sunday when there's nothing going on. Here we have him displaying signals on the, cuts to diagram, 48R, 46R, and 44R simultaneously. So I'm not sure where he displayed the routes to. He probably displayed, I'm going to pump this up a little bit because it needs it. Okay, because otherwise you can't see the signals. So approach the downs. He's got a slow approach to where? So, yeah, No, that's a restricting. It's not a slow approach. Yeah. So 5 running is probably displayed. I don't know where these are displaying to. 2 is probably going straight 2 to 2. 5 running is probably going down 3 reverse to get the restricting, or down track 1. I think they had a barricade on track 2 indicating the occupied block. So that's why it gets a stop and proceed, not a restricting. But no, this is pretty neat though. You know, you're never gonna see this again. That's a unique photo. Got to get it 44R approach, 46R stop and proceed, 48R restricting. Booyah. Very cool. Here's another fun with switches and signals. He pulled up a signal on the 60R. Remember, they only have one diverging route. So we can see the 61 switch, 61W is normal. So this is just a straight route for reversed into the against current current of traffic there. There it is. The 2005 version versus what I'm going to be doing with this is keeping most of the details. Pretty neat. And of course, I'm going to get a nice little picture here. I'm going to straighten this on the bottom of the dwarf signal. Did that straighten right? I think it did. Just there, twist that a little bit. Yep, there we go. Very cool. Well, there's your 61 switch A5. Note the interesting extra point detector there. Probably to make sure because it's an extra long blade or something. I'm not sure when you need to do that. This 56. What is it? The end of 3 at this point was used as just a storage track. Same with 6. Or 6 went in the yard. 3 was just storage. Sometimes you see 8 maintenance away bugs on it. Let's see. I'm not sure what it does today. They might have cut it. Let's find out. They would be there. No, both 6 yard is cut and 3 storage is cut. Yeah, so I'm not sure where the switch to 6 yard even is, or the signal to 6 yard even is. It should be there somewhere. Probably somewhere in there. But yeah, 3 is still there for storage. There's the signal for 6 all the way back there. This sort of thing is what I call the Philly forget. You know, you don't kill it. You just forget about it. Love the web of catenary over this whole thing. Add some additional stuff on there to describe it. You know, you guys see the impedance bond. You know, this is all still electrified. Here's the 54R. It's not in a line. It's a bit way down the way. This I think was just a picture, so the used versus unused. I never get why unused rail starts looking really different. I don't mean like the top. It's just that mainline 155 pound looks different than the less used crossover 155 pound. Here we have, remember, Pennsylvania Special did come in 2 varieties, 152 pound and 155. This is an example of 152. Again, 152, Pennsylvania Special. Normally it's marked, it's typically you see RE there for like Association of Rail Engineers or whatever, but nope, Pennsylvania Special. That's neat. This is going to be the I mislabeled that one. It should be the 64R stop. Who is this? It's a 55 switch. Do I have a thing of this? 55 switch. Here it is. I was doing a lot of these double it up photos because I didn't have a lot of memory space. I keep making that excuse. I'm sticking with it. This is the 55 switch C-plee and piston. Taken above. Back on the tower, what do we got? This is your downs stuff. Did he open a window? Just looks a bit better. I think a window got opened. This looks a lot nicer. That's not it. Maybe I piled something up for a timed exposure. I might have. question is, do I... Yeah, I should probably leave this one the way it is. Or not. All right, I'm just gonna rename this. This is something here. That is pretty angled, but whatever. Oh, this was neat. This was an approaching freight train on track 4. This is a very oh yeah. I want to launch into the story. Notice, well, yes, this shows 76L signal. Oh yeah, a lot of the model boards you see on PRR towers have the little lights indicating that a signal's been displayed. You don't get that here. It's all on the stuff. So 74 or the 76L has been cleared. Everything else is normal. But that's so we had the Pennsylvanian was due out, but it was late, and there's a freight going to Coatesville, NS Freight, and our guy was basically, the freight usually waits and waits and waits till he gets a window, and our guy was actually able to display a signal at Glen, and just basically let the freight come on through. And I mean, the freight train with the engineer called on the radio was just like, I'm stunned, like this never happens. So I'll get there in just a second. The freight starts moving, and suddenly we hear on the from the dispatcher calls and basically says that the Pennsylvanian has left, and they got to move this freight train, and they got to get rid of it. The freight train like's gotta wait, and he's like, well, you told me to let him move. And the dispatcher's like, well, you got to do something about it. And the problem is that there's no siding. Like, you could have the freight go over to track 2, but track 2 can't get back to track 4 at Callan. It's got to go all the way to Park, and no one's there. So it's basically got to go all the way to Lancaster. So the solution was to pull the freight train across from track 4 to track 2. Into the track 2 siding, then reverse him 2 to 2 eastbound, pull him basically into the tunnel. Today that's barricaded off, but then it was clear all the way to Downs. Pull him into the tunnel, then wait for the Pennsylvanian to pass, and then let him go. Oops. So here we have some wonderful early... look how new this stuff was, too. This is going to be some sort of SD70M. That's new. And C44-9W, number 9968. That looks new. This is before the whole ES series took over. So it got even better. The whole thing got better. I'll show you why. So here we have 25. I got a nice shot of 2598 passing the tower. I mean, generally Thorn doesn't have a lot to do, especially on a Sunday, and now here he is doing a weirdo crossover, double crossover, backup passing maneuver. And I'm there to capture the whole damn thing, which was just super swell. Really fun day. One second. Where'd that photo go? That's one I just did. And what are these? Oh, that, because he's doing it back. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out how this works. Okay, that's what I got. I'm overwriting some older name stuff. All right, end of the section. Let's see what you got going on here. Name. Okay. Yeah, so the rest of the last section here, and we are on, it's just basically this whole convoluted movement. Who's around? Anybody around? Did I make this a private thing? Add a delay. Basic info. Did I screw this up? That's gotta be it. Oh, damn it. Shoot. Oh, well, I'm sorry. The nobodies who got to see this live. How did that get changed? This should be public. I bet I was scrolling down and I flipped it to whatever. Oh, man. Oh, well. Can't stop now. Can't stop, won't stop. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, if anyone finds it and comes on, I think I screwed this one up. Oh, man, how'd that happen? Boy, that C44-9 is looking snazzy there. Super snazzy. I wanted to get out of the way. In this point, you know, I need to get an angle on things, but I didn't want to stand on the track bed. I think I was being too conservative, and you'll see why. So strange. I was going to redo that. Anyway, I'm just going to finish this up. This is a cool. See, and they also had a Conrail caboose on the end. Super fun. Just got to straighten this guy out. I'm not sure what the number was on this. No, I do. The number was on like the back. I think I got it at some point. Oh, 01. Oh, man. Damn you, graffiti guy. Sure that I can't find a... Oh, man. Yeah, they got it papered over pretty damn well. That's I'm not sure. That's it's a Conrail style. I wonder if I could find if I could identify it. It ends in 01. That's all I could tell. Could be 21201. Huh, maybe I can find this out. Boy, talk about an old school page. Drawings, renderings, class pages. Not that. Not that. Nope. Not that. Nope, I don't think these are N5s. Nope. Could be one of these. Could be a 7. Nope. Nope. I think it's an N7. Yeah, it's not a 9 or... Could be a 10. I gotta get... Come on. Let's see, what does it look like? It could be a 7, I'm just not sure. 11? No. 12? Oh yeah, there it is. It's a 12. Built in the 1970s. Okay, great. Now they know it's a 12. They can go back to to the home page, rosters, active, down to 12, probably 12101. Let's see if there's anything else ending in 01. Oh, I'm getting lucky. Oh, wait, sorry, that's N12. Could be an N21 car. Let's try one of those. Yeah, it's an N21. 12101. See, and that's how you can use a little information to, you know, really help you out. Yeah, 12101. Yep. See if I got, let's see what I can get there. See? Something, 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 01. There's a 2. 212, oh, it's 21201, not 12101. 21201. Well, there we go. Cool. Actually determined the number of this old guy. Awesome. 21201 plus THORN. Done. Oh yeah, that's some nice detective work right there. I don't think I did. I don't think I tracked down. Even though the information was available to me, I'm pretty sure I didn't track it down back in the day. Still no more what am I... Did I set this to prop? Yeah, sorry for everyone who can't see this. You know, I can't break the video. I'm just going to use this. So this is, so anyway, the NS freight passed. It went from track 2 to track 2. It went from 2 to 2? No, it went from 1 to 2. Or 4 to 2. He's doing his thing while Amtrak 156 Pennsylvania rolled through. Then the freight started going back 2 to 2, so it could then reverse, and it's just like a very complicated version of a pull-in pass. The hallmark of a great dispatcher error. Oh yeah, here we go. conductor doing the flag ops there. I think that's why they had this caboose on, because there's always the risk of having to flag stuff on these PRR Main Line moves with the lack of crossovers in the Rule 251 operation. Alright, I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible here. So, and here we have the NS freight going 2 to 2. Actually, look, I think you can see the Thorn radio antenna all the way up there on the little mast jobber. Yeah, I'll just save over. Here we have the SD70M number 2598 back in its way through Thorn interlocking on track 2. Just try to get this done. Man, I'm sorry for anyone who has to catch this and misses it. I might cut the video and then restream another one just to apologize to people. Oh, damn it. I should have used that name on the first one. Eastbound. Copy. Here we have a nice picture of Thorn interlocking looking. I think I was trying to hide it from my friend. Was just like, it was just get out there, take the damn pictures. It's like, I know these guys, they're fine. You don't have to hide. And then here we have going 2 to 4 west. And away he goes. A little bright, but whatever. Almost done. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they... I don't know why the guy got off. I think he was just talking to Pat, but... no, that's right. The conductor had to be on the back for the shove. And here we have the train completing its movement with the West Airline there. Oopsies. That's it. There we go. That's everything for Thorn interlocking. Woo. Yep. Sorry if anyone couldn't see it. It will be posted, this video. If you're watching it, it means you're watching it after I post it. I got somebody. Well, thanks for popping by. I'm not sure why people weren't here. I might have had this listed as unlisted for a while, but I'm not entirely sure. It could just be Friday. I mean, anyway, it's an hour 25. It's well after midnight. I've got to get going. Sorry for any stupidity that I might have caused. This video, it's going to be up on the thing, so hopefully you're watching it now, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, you guys have a great weekend. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next, or when I'm doing this again. I got to do videos on Shoreline Trolley Museum, Shoreline Trolley, the NYCTA Museum at Court Street, but I need to go and get a cheat sheet to what those cars are. I'm not one of those subway fanatics that know what R11s versus R17s and stuff from sight are. So I gotta go get a cheat sheet on that. But I got a couple more of these, and I'm probably gonna continue on. I gotta finish 2005. Make sure I'm not missing anything from 2000s 2, 3, or 4. And I think, if anything, I will continue to redo the 2006 range. Up until the point where I get my new camera, and at that point my classic photo redo is finished. So I'm coming to the end of these. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in the future. And, what's going to happen with the streaming. I might stream the new stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, you have a great day. I've got to go. And I'm sorry for, again, if I had the stream on unlisted earlier, if that actually made a difference.